Hello, my friends. It's good to be here with you today. So, I want to talk today about one of the more common frustrations that people have with their meditation practice. And that frustration is the feeling that within the meditation, we might drop into a real sense of peace and calm, tranquility, steadiness, stillness, a sense of equanimity. But then, as soon as we go back out into life, that's gone, right? And we've all experienced this. And the idea being, how do I carry over into my life this stillness, this presence, this real strength that I find within my meditation? How do I carry that over into my life? So let's talk about that today. The issue is that within your meditation practice, if this is occurring for you, you're not actually strengthening your knowing of yourself as that stillness, as that peace, that the peace and the stillness is not just a passing experience that occurs within meditation. You're not actually strengthening your knowing that that stillness is a stillness of being, that it is the essence of your being. It's the coming to know yourself. So let's talk about how we do this. It's a real shift in perspective. And I want to bring in an analogy here. Because what we're talking about is strengthening an understanding and a recognition of your true self. So we're going to use the analogy of working out, all right? If you're working out and physical fitness, and you want to build a certain muscle group, a specific targeted muscle group of, let's say, chest and shoulders and arms, you might do push-ups. And if you're going to exercise and do push-ups to build that muscle group, you would need to do a number of push-ups in a row. So you'd want to say, all right, let me do my push-ups, my set of push-ups. And you might do a set of push-ups, it's 20 push-ups or 30 push-ups, 10 push-ups, 50 push-ups, whatever it is, you're going to do multiple push-ups in this one set. And each push-up is called a rep. So in workout terms, if you do 20 push-ups, you did 20 reps within a set. And then you take a break and you come back and you say, all right, I'm going to do another set of push-ups, and you do 20 more reps of push-ups. Those reps, one after another, a push-up, another push-up, another push-up, another push-up, another push-up, that repetition is building the strength, the muscle group that you are targeting. If you wanted to really build that muscle group, what you wouldn't do is you wouldn't say, oh, these are hard, so I'm not going to do them. That's one thing. You wouldn't say, oh, well, this is difficult. Well, I'm certainly not going to do that. The other thing is you wouldn't do like a push-up every hour. You wouldn't say, well, I want to get my 20 push-ups in, so I'll do, I got 20 hours in my day, whatever it is. But I'm going to do a push-up every hour, or a push-up every half hour, or even a push-up every 20 minutes. That isn't really going to build that muscle group. Now let's go back to meditation. Within our meditation, oftentimes what is done is there is a struggle with and a dissatisfaction with the experience within meditation of the mind wandering, of the mind getting hooked on a thought or an image or an idea or a conversation. And then the mind goes and we realize, oh, that's right, I'm meditating. And we bring ourselves back to the stillness in whatever methodology or modality we use, whether it's going back to the breath, which is the most common and probably the one of the best ways to come back into stillness is to just bring awareness to the movement of your own breath. So let's say that's the modality we use. We come back to the breath and come back to the stillness. And for me, when I come back to that stillness, I add a recognition, a remembering, a conscious remembering of, oh, this stillness is the essence of my true being. That's who I truly am. This is the essential nature of my being, this stillness. And then the mind latches onto another thought, another image, another idea. This is just what the mind does. The mind thinks a lot. It's going to do that. So rather than arguing with it and fighting it, my recommendation is recognize that losing yourself and bringing yourself back to stillness, that bringing yourself back to stillness is one rep. And then it's going to happen again. And it's amazing how quickly it can happen. I'll come back to stillness and the remembrance of, there I am. There I am. That's the essence of my being. That's who I truly am when my mind isn't going crazy. And then my mind will do something like, it'll think, did I do that yesterday with that conversation with that one contractor who's working on my cabinets? And I do need to get those cabinets redone. And, what dimensions do I want those to be? And then my mind is off. And I catch myself because I'm sitting in meditation. And I bring myself back, say, okay, no. I don't argue with it. I don't fight it. I don't shame myself for it. I just notice that's what the mind does. Oh, there's my mind. And that's the allowing dynamic of awakening, just the allowing. Oh, there it is. And then I bring myself back to the presence, the stillness of being. I remember myself. That's one rep. And then it happens again. That's 2 reps, and it happens again. That's 3 reps. If I sit in meditation for a half hour, that might happen 30 times. Most likely, that would be 1 time a minute. Most likely, it's more like 60 times. And every single time I bring myself back, repeatedly, repeatedly, I am strengthening my remembrance of who I really am. And when you do that, you strengthen your knowing of yourself, your truth, your understanding of your reality. And then when your meditation is over, you go out into the world and you have strengthened that knowing. And it's going to last longer. It's going to become more available. And you hear people all the time will say, oh yeah, I out in life, I'll notice I'm triggered about something. But where it used to be that I'd be triggered about that thing for 4 days, now I'm triggered about it and it only lasts 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 30 seconds. And then I remember who I am and I come back. So what a lot of people do is they'll say my meditation practice is too difficult because my mind keeps wandering. And rather than recognizing that that's part of the exercise, the mind wanders, I bring it back. Oh, that's 1 rep. The mind wanders, I bring it back. Oh, that's 2 reps. What they say is it's difficult. It's hard to stay in the stillness. And therefore, my meditation is too hard. What I'll do is I'll just go out into my life and I'll try to be more mindful of when I am triggered and then, or when I'm totally lost in the content of experience and don't remember my essential grace, my essential peace, my essential stillness. And then I'll catch that and I'll remember my truth. And maybe I'll stop in the middle of my day and I'll breathe a little bit and I'll remember my truth. And then I'll go about my day. Because it's too hard to do in meditation. It just keeps happening. The mind keeps wandering. I keep bringing it back. The mind keeps wandering. I keep bringing it back. And they see that as wrong or as not helpful. It's actually incredibly helpful. But they see it as a struggle. And so I don't want to struggle. I'll just do it during my day. I'll catch myself during the day and I'll bring myself back to peace. Well, that would be like doing one push-up every 20 minutes and thinking that's actually going to strengthen your chest and arm muscles. It's not. So the invitation here is to recognize that how you grow stronger in your knowing and your acceptance and your abidance of your essential nature, your truth, is to let the mind wander, not let, the mind will just do it, to notice in your meditation that the mind is going to wander and you bring yourself back consciously, attentively, purposefully. You bring yourself back to the recognition of your inner stillness. Ah, there I am. Ah, yes, this is the essential nature of my being, the stillness, the witness. And then the mind does it again, and you bring yourself back. Every time you bring yourself back, that is part of the exercise. That's another rep. That's another strengthening. That's another push-up. To sit in meditation, let's say for a half hour, and not ever have the mind wander. Is a beautiful thing. It's a bit rare, but it's a beautiful thing. But you're not really exercising. You're experiencing a deep relaxation, a deep stillness, a deep, beautiful abidance of your truth. But you're not really exercising. That's the difference between, okay, I'm going to go do my push-ups, and instead of doing a bunch of reps to build my targeted muscle group, I just lay on the ground. And I would go, oh, this is much easier than doing push-ups. Oh, this is beautiful. I'm just going to lay here for a bit. That's just a different thing. You're not actually exercising. You're resting in a beautiful nap, in a beautiful quiet, in a beautiful relaxation. But if you say, okay, nope, I'm going to exercise for a while. I'm going to build out my chest muscles. I'm going to do a bunch of push-ups, and they're hard, and they're hard, and they're hard. When we're in our meditation practice, if we treat it as an exercise and treat each time the mind wanders and we bring it back as a good thing. Yay, I just did another rep. I just strengthened my remembrance of my being. And you sit with that, and maybe you try, if you will, just to let that linger and be and relax and rest in that stillness. Probably within 5 to 10 seconds, maybe a little bit more, your mind might just kind of latch on to something again. Oh, bring it back. I was meditating yesterday, and my mind was just injecting into awareness like incredibly random stuff. I mean, it was just, my third grade teacher's name was Mrs. Richardson. Oh, I remember that playground. I remember that play yard. I remember where the sandbox was, and I remember where, there it was. My mind was just percolating up old thoughts. I wasn't choosing them. So when I noticed that, there wasn't oh, darn. It was just, there, okay, back to the grace, back to my peace, back to me. And I just got stronger. That coming back was a strengthening of my knowing of my truth. So that's the invitation. Stick with your meditation practice and see it as an exercise where each time you get lost and come back isn't a problem. It's part of the meditation. In fact, that is the meditation. The meditation is the coming back. That's the meditation. And you're getting stronger. And you're remembering your truth again and again and again and again and again. And every time you sit in meditation, that's like doing a set of push-ups, spiritual push-ups. Every time you meditate, you have the opportunity to repeatedly remember your truth. And that happens within the stillness and the intentionality of a meditation practice. If you're interested in learning more and deepening your meditation practice, go ahead and click in the links below. You're going to find, or if this is on Instagram, wherever you're seeing this, there's going to be links. And you can find my Empowered Meditation Toolkit. It's a beautiful, simple guidance system for understanding how powerful your meditation can be in your life, for knowing thyself, for strengthening your knowing of your true and essential nature. So go ahead and find yourself on your practice and in your practice. Yeah, find yourself in your practice and recognize that a practice is meant to be an exercise of remembering your truth. All right, my friend, enjoy your reps. Enjoy them. They're valuable. They're powerful. They're what's supposed to happen in meditation. All right, be well.